Everyday superheroes are everywhere. How I learned to save the world one small, brave deed at a time. Next time you're in a group or a crowd, look left, then right, because one of you three people will get the chance to be heroic if you live long enough. And yeah, it might just be you. Just ask the American Cancer Society.
The cry goes up both far and near for underdog, 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 underdog. Speed of lightning, roar of thunder, fighting all who plunder, underdog, underdog, underdog.
Presto! Ooh, don't know my own strength.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
And it's time for another unbuckled, bumpy ride with your guide, the stark raving LEAN-atic himself. I'm Jim. Let's jump right in again. Welcome to my podcast based on my brand new book, available on Amazon, Live Life Lean, L-E-A-N. It's a year-long guide to gratitude and our daily grind. The book that combines some timeless wisdom from a whole lot of the world's wiser people with the reflections, reactions, and wisecracks of the guide's author, me. And it guides you, the reader, through the simplest system for a happy, healthy, authentic, and genuinely grateful everyday experience. I urge you to get the book. Of course I do. I wrote it. It's either at Amazon or at my website, ampurage.com. A-M-M-P-U-R-A-G-E. But even without it, let's make next week better than last, our next year better than the past, and get started now with today's episode of... I'm a comic book fan, superhero fan. We're not talking the whole Archie Jughead type of thing. And these superheroes in the comic books, they did things so that nobody would see them, so nobody knew that they had done them. Superman had Clark Kent, Spider-Man had Peter Parker, Batman had Bruce Wayne, and Iron Man had, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, so we'll let that one slide. But except for Robert Downey Jr., none of them looked for an audience. All hid their identity. Nobody could say that they watched them do it. But people were watching. And we have everyday heroes in our world who are the same way. Folks who fight what I can't imagine, even though I'm so close to them and their fight and to all of it that I feel their pain. But these humble heroes, they say, what choice did I have? I was just surviving, just taking steps, one foot in front of the other. Humble heroes who don't even know their own strength. I like James 2:14, Bible verse. It's my personal basis for the whole, with great strength comes great responsibility. The whole Spider-Man thing that originally came from the book of Luke. The power, responsibility part, not the bitten by a radioactive arachnid part. Look it up. The book of James, it's a good read, and a great name if I say so myself. Anyways, by watching those around me face up to and square off against their big, scary life monsters, going into battle with oftentimes brittle bones, bionic body parts that don't work near as well as the original manufacturer's equipment. They're sporting skin suits that are wrinkled and age-marked, but with supervision and a twinkle in their eye. Yet these superheroes were sometimes brittle and wrinkled, but they still twinkled like stars in this stage of life. With the most awesome heroics, the stuff that legends should be made of. My heroes, like Nancy, a widow, a recent widow, but always has been a really strong woman whose life was moved and upheaved and almost completely rearranged, thrown all out of kilter. And then her husband up and died. Yeah, new home, new neighbors, new responsibilities for family, and life said, guess what, girl? You're going to have to get by doing this without your husband and life partner. I guess she could have chose not to face it, at least face it this way. not to go on this way. Guess she didn't know her own strength. Heroes like J.B. He's a Parkinson's puncher of mine and a logical man with faith. For anyone who knows someone out there with Parkinson's, please look closely. Look to see what the world doesn't easily see in them. And then let them know you see them. Like J.B., an intelligent, logical-minded man for whom Parkinson's disease is not always what seems logical. And for the world around him watching, I guarantee, doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair for such an awesome guy to have to grapple with every damn day, fighting gravity, just to take his next step. Something that we all take for granted because we don't know what effort it can take for someone like JB to keep getting out of bed every damn morning. I guess JB doesn't know his own strength. Heroes like my wife, divorce and cancer survivor who, when she was diagnosed with cancer, not the divorce, when she was told she had cancer, she just kept moving forward. And she'll tell you that her battle with cancer was nowhere near some people's war with it. But she has since taught herself and so many other cancer fighters who turn to her for understanding and support and comfort. She's learned to stop asking yourself, how bad does my personal battle with something have to be before I'm just grateful for being given what it took to get through, whatever it was, at whatever level. And I am certain that she would have kept stepping up to that plate, no matter what the count was. Bottom of the ninth, down by 1 run, 2 outs, nobody else on base, and she's facing an 0-2 count. She would stand and stay in that batter's box and face what came at her. I'm pretty sure she's getting to know her own strength. Heroes like my mom and like my dad. Cancer fighters, both of them. Dad, so many years ago, and still. Mom, for so many years, and now she lies still, her soul at rest. I miss you, Mom. But she never knew what strength she had. When she had to face Dad's demons, and he had them, wow. Or when she had to face her brother's cancer, the same one that she fought until the end. Wow. She would talk to me on the phone, and when the words of God weren't easily coming from her voice and the verses of the Bible were not easily repeated, she would sometimes tell me she didn't know how she was going to do this. And she prayed, and she got to know her own strength with God. Dad? Well, it was around 1975 or so, I think, that he had a tumor taken out of his heart. And he's still waking up every morning to be thankful he's here. Thankful while thoughtful. Thoughtful about how she, his wife, is not here. Thoughtful how he still faces cancer scares without her help, without her prayers, but not without her strength and her God. My dad knows his own strength, and he knows he owes it all to God and my mama. I'm not sure he, my dad, knows how much I watch him. They say kids may hear what you say, but they will watch to see what you do. Kids don't want to learn how to act, how to behave. Kids want to learn who to become, who to be. Dad, I see you. Every one of these people, every one, and they didn't even know what I saw in them, or maybe that I was even watching. On this day, as I look at the literally tons of disassembled, taken apart workout equipment, I've taken this apart myself and moved it up flights of stairs myself, all by myself, except for, and I appreciate, that help with those 3 cardio pieces. Thank you so much, Nephew Tony. We did all this because our longtime gym lost its home and has to, or at least gets to, start over. And I know that this is not something tons of equipment moved. Not something any of the people I mentioned before, any of my superheroes, could have done. So they tell me about how strong they think I am. Strong of body, strong spirit. But what I know about my superheroes, on top of the fact I know they could not have done this with their bodies, even if they tried, is that I know 100% that they would if they could. I know they'd step into that batter's box one more time and face what may be their final chance. I know they would. So they inspired me too. Because I could. Our everyday superheroes shouldn't be relied upon to come along and save the day, to save our asses. We should rely on our ability to take them with us every day. Take their example along with us into battle to do something a little superhuman ourselves. And we may never even know someone else might be watching. And now more words of wisdom to wow your socks off from the Live Life Lean Guide itself. Episode, page 113. Let no feeling of any such discouragement prey upon you, and in the end, you are sure to succeed. Abraham Lincoln. And the guide's point of view on this? To let or allow something to prey upon you is to be unwatching, unguarded, and unprepared. It doesn't say don't feel discouragement. Just don't roll over, belly up, and give over to it. So what do you think about this? Using the Live Life Lean Guided system, what have you learned recently that was new? What have you earned recently that wasn't just given to you? Where have you added to the world that's above and beyond you? Now, reflect on all this, respect it, be grateful for it, and before you navigate somewhere next, please like, subscribe, and share to show you care. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying your copy of the Live Life Lean, LEAN guide, enjoying it almost as much as I did creating it. And if you don't have a copy yet, go on over to amperage.com or Amazon and get started today experiencing the amazing power of knowing every day is literally yours to be grateful about, and you need never feel unfulfilled again. I'm Jim Hall, and until next time, good health, God bless, and now go get a little dirty learning something new, earning what's not given to you, adding to this crazy world that we share, and navigating your way to something new and next.